Hello, folks. Welcome back to Chris Wyatt Reports. More news from South Africa. Well, I did caution the chief executive officer of South Africa's corrupt, inept, idiotic, and failing parastatal known as Eskom. That's an electricity supplier. I did caution Andre de Ruyter about taking the post when he took it. Shortly after taking the post, he was fraudulently accused of being a racist, which distracted from running the company by race hustling ANC patronage puppies who didn't like the fact that their fingers could no longer get on the till. Well, after overcoming that nonsense, he's had to deal with a whole host of situations, including the fact that basically virtually every South African power generating station was built 40 to 50 years ago by the National Party. The ANC's done virtually nothing to improve the electricity supply in South Africa. They have added millions of people to the grid without increasing much in the way of generating capacity until the Medupi station, which is way under capacity, and another one, Kusile, came on in the last few years after more than a decade and 3 times the original projected cost. But Andre de Ruyter should have really taken a hard look about whether this was the right move for him. Well, here's the latest. Now, who's doing this? This isn't exactly something you pick up at Radio Shack or the equivalent in South Africa. According to former police commissioner and now forensic investigator George Fivaz, preliminary findings into an investigation from a tracking device which de Ruyter found in his Volvo last week. The preliminary findings show that agents can use this for tracking and eavesdropping at a range of up to 5 kilometers. Now, it can send data at either 1.25 megabytes per second or 10 megabytes per second. It's not really sure. There was a error in the preliminary report which doesn't make it clear. Now, according to Fivaz, this bugging device is not something the ordinary private detectives use, and it is not available on the open market. Sounds like it's police or military grade. He says we're talking about a sophisticated national security agency level device typically used by law enforcement and intelligence agencies that can send and receive signals. Well, there you go. Now, for his part, de Ruyter told the Sunday Times that he found the device under the driver's seat of his car. Bluetooth cell phone connectivity with the car means that de Ruyter would have had potentially confidential conversations over the system in his vehicle, which were potentially audible to those who installed the device. Now, who is spying on Eskom CEO? You want to take a guess? Should we speculate? We have no evidence, so it would be mere speculation. But as Fivaz says, this is not something available to the general public. It is industrial, military, police, intelligence service grade. And you can see an image of it right here. This is the actual picture of the device that was found on his Volvo. Why is he being spied upon? And has the South African Police Service started an investigation into this? This violates constitutional rights. Somebody is doing this illegally, and who is it? Well, odds are it's the ANC itself. That's right. Someone in the ANC, whether it's a radical economic transformation or some operative in government bureaucracy somewhere in one of the criminal intelligence divisions or the military or one of the agencies, is most likely the candidate responsible for spying on Andre de Ruyter. But at whose behest? Who's driving them to spy on the CEO of Eskom? That's an interesting question, one which we don't know the answer to, and we can only speculate at this moment. But then, hey, what you can expect in South Africa, where the National Prosecuting Authority deems success to have brought charges against someone. That's not success. A prosecution charging, convicting, and imprisoning criminals, that is success. Well, this is South Africa. They deem what success is to hoodwink the sheep who know no better. Well, regardless of the case here, folks, definitely some crime has been committed. We just don't know who. And if de Ruyter is being spied upon, who else is being spied upon? If I was Cyril Ramaphosa, I'd be a little nervous about what I said and to whom I said it. Just saying. South African intelligence services have a history of spying on their own politicians in their own ruling party. This is not something new. We'll see what happens here. But for now, if I were Andre de Ruyter, I would be very guarded about what I say, where I say it, and to whom I say it. Only in South Africa. Except it's not only in South Africa. We've seen the abuses take place here in the United States with the abuse of the National Security Agency by criminal operatives in the Biden regime and the Obama regime, weaponizing the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Internal Revenue Service, and every federal agency against law-abiding, patriotic American citizens. It's all over the world, folks. What a tragedy. Hey, if you're not subscribed, why don't you become one? Smash that button right down there. Join us here at Chris Wyatt Reports. Help us overcome the shadow banning on this platform. And by the way, news here, we are now doing live streams on Rumble It's kind of shaky. It doesn't really perform as well as it should overseas, although folks in the UK and Europe and the US can watch it without interruption. It has been a little spotty for folks in South Africa. But we're now on Rumble, and we'll see how that goes. It's an awkward process, so the live streams on Rumble will be limited to exposing the truth that we're not allowed to say on this censorship platform, talking about things like the 2020 choosing, jabs, and the oppressive, authoritarian, fascist regimes around the world. You have to be careful on this leftist platform. Anyway, folks, thanks a lot. Be sure to become a subscriber. Hit the button right down there and join us here at Chris Wyatt Reports. Take care.